Hello everyone, I am here to do a tutorial on how I do my fabric. I've been doing my fabric covers for my little D-Stash journals. This is how I do it. I don't really have, I don't even know if it's the right way, but it makes it really sturdy and I love it and it's easy, and I will show you how. I've been asked to do a video on it, and this is how I do it. I just take a file folder and I cut it to my size that I want, and this one is 9 by 6, and I just leave it folded and cut it 9 by 6. And then what I do, I'm not good at tutorials, but I will show. Then I just go and choose the fabric that I want to use, which I think on this one I will use this upholstery fabric that I have because I just think it's gorgeous. I just ripped it out of one of those sample books. Well, actually I cut it, and I cut it crooked, but that's okay because I'm going to recut it again anyways. And then I just take my file folder, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip it over. Don't know why I'm going to do it on this side, but and I take my fabric tack and I just make sure there's a lot of glue on, not a ton because you don't want it to seep through your fabric. And I just glue it all up, not totally to the edge because I'm going to sew this, so I don't want to sew through my fabric. And I just get enough glue on there, and then I take it and I put it on my little piece of fabric that I got right here, and just center it on my fabric, making sure it's sticking out all around the edges. Push it down. You can use your brayer, or I got stuff underneath here. I've got stuff everywhere. Oh my gosh. Or you can use your bone folder, and I just kind of smash it on there really good. Like this. Flip it over, make sure there's no wrinkles in it, or no glue coming through or anything like that. And yeah, I just make sure I don't go totally to the edge because that you don't want to do. And then this is where I take my scissors and cut it a little more even, like that. I want it to be hanging out a little bit because I want to fray it. This side, I should have stuck it further up so I didn't have to fray this end, but I'm going to trim it just because it's just a little too sticking up too much. I just leave it like an 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch, just a little bit hanging out so I can, like I said, so I can fray it when I'm all done. And at this point, I take and I cut a piece of cardstock exactly the same size as this. And this is the one I'm going to use. I already have it cut. And it's really, I try to use the thickest cardstock I have. And that way, since it's got fabric and everything already on it, I don't really have to put Tyvek right here because, and you can if you want to, I just don't because it's super thick and sturdy with all the fabric and everything by the time I'm done with it. So, and then I just do the exact same thing. See what side is up. This is the top, and I think I want it to be like so. And I just do the same thing. I just take my glue and I just make sure the spine is really good. And this fabric tack is amazing, so it doesn't need to be like insane glued, but I'm a freak about it. That's probably why I go through so much glue, because I just make sure there's enough glue on there. And I just, let me see, I want this piece to be in the front. And I just set it right on the top. And I already inked this before, I just inked the edge a little bit before I even did the video. And I just do the same as I did the front. I just smash it down really good. if my hands will get a grip. Let's see here. And I'll let it sit for a few minutes before I even sew it. And then I just make sure everything's all lined up. And I will fold it in half and crease the middle. That way I just know where the middle is. And then at this point, I'll take it to my sewing machine and sew around the edges. I'll do that and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I took it to my sewing machine and I just used the zigzag stitch. And when I sew it, I sew on this side because I want to make sure that I sew as close to the edge as possible without going over, so I could still fray this part, but I want it to be as close so this does not come apart or anything. And then I just set it aside and let it dry a little bit, and then when it to fray it, because my hands are so not good, I just take my little piercing tool and I just go around the edge and I use it to pull all the little fibers, get them loose, because it, you know, when you're pinching it and trying to get it off there, it just kind of hurts your hand. And see, that makes it so easy to fray it and make it look super cute. And I just pull here and there just a little bit, not much. And if it doesn't pull all the way out, then I just take my little, I leave a little bit on there. Just snip them off, just leaving a little bit here and there. And I just go all the way around doing that. And most of the time I can rip fabric, but the upholstery fabric is a little thicker and harder to fray, for me anyway. So this is how I fray my fabric. I do it like on anything. I'll just take my little pokey tool and fray it that way. And it just looks really like I ripped the fabric, even though I did not. I do that with my burlap too. I'll take my little pokey tool and just shred it that way. But that is really simple, and that is how I make my fabric covers for my little, these little D-stash journals. And see, this one actually frayed really easy. I didn't even have to use the pokey tool. But yeah, it's awesome. And there you go. You got your cover all ready to go. And at this point, I would put my little eyelets in or sew my closure on, and then go for the gusto from there. I hope that helps you out. And yeah, thank you so much for asking me to do that. I hope this really helps. And I will see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.